Music. Steve Sean, BuffaloStories.com.
Debbie Stamp.
And I'm Don Moffitt. Welcome to PM Magazine and the Erie Basin Marina.
Congratulations, Don. We finally made it. All that work and we made it to our first show.
And I'm so excited about it, too. But before we get into tonight's show, why don't we tell the folks what PM Magazine is all about?
Good idea. Every night we're going to bring you 2 stories about interesting and unusual people. One might be a behind-the-scenes look at a celebrity. The other might be about an everyday person in a not-so-everyday situation.
You'll be armchair travelers to exciting places all over the world. And you'll also see some interesting places right here in Western New York and Southern Ontario, too.
Each night we'll also bring you the PM Magazine departments. The departments are fascinating and useful bits of information about 3 different and important areas of your life. Your life at home, your health, and how you spend your leisure time.
So now, let's take a look at tonight's show. We'll meet baseball's most enthusiastic fan, Wild Bill Hagee. He's the unofficial cheerleader for the Baltimore Orioles.
We'll also go behind the scenes with Buffalo's best-known newscaster, Irv Weinstein. Then in our departments, Chef Tell makes a tasty salad niçoise. Frank and Christine Zane show you a fun way to get your hips and waist in shape. And Linda Harris begins a great escape to beautiful New England.
We were the first to bring you live pinpoint weather radar, the first to bring you live reports. Now we go to new heights to keep you on top of the news with the News 4 Skybird, a tool we pioneered, and now the newest addition to News 4. It means you'll see the news from a different perspective. We're for keeping you on top of the news, and we'll do it with the Skybird. Find out why people are looking up to Channel 4.
And that's what we're for.
This week's State
20 years ago, I almost...
Your doctor or the State Health Department about DES, the wonder drug women should wonder about.
You see that building? That's City Hall, a building that's a familiar face on the Buffalo scene. Another familiar face on the Buffalo scene is anchorman Irv Weinstein. A lot of people know Irv as a newsman, but what is he like at home and what effect has his popularity had on his family? Tonight, PM Magazine goes behind the scenes to find out.
This is Eyewitness News.
Home roll, card 8. Stand by 3, stand by Irv's Mike.
Could you brighten that up just
Here. Irv's Mike and cue.
Topping tonight's Eyewitness News.
In 1964, Irv Weinstein made his first appearance on Buffalo television. Now, 15 years later, he is one of the most recognizable personalities in the city. In the early years, he traveled from story to story and station to station.
It's often been jokingly said that while baseball is our great national sport, here in Erie,
his most ardent followers were his wife and family.
It's only in retrospect that I really thought about the moving around we did. I don't think it did us any harm. As a matter of fact, it may have solidified our relationship. I think if you've got a basically good relationship, it doesn't matter where you're living or how often you move, as long as you stick together and roll with the blows.
And stick together they did. His wife, Elaine, now works as an administrator of housing for the elderly and disabled. Of the 3 children, 1 daughter is on her own, and the other daughter and son attend school and perform in a progressive rock group.
Well, being a father was very difficult when he was very, very busy. And he really didn't get to spend much time with the kids, which was a shame. But that's not only in the broadcasting business. That happens in a lot of businesses.
Well, he used to be home for dinner all the time, so we used to see him every day. He's been around enough.
If you compare me with Robert Young in Father Knows Best, I probably don't do too well. Because early on in my career, when the children were small, I did not have a great deal of time to spend with them. And to be perfectly honest, on my days off, I wasn't the kind of dad who went out in the street and played ball. I have guilt feelings about the time I didn't spend with the children when they were small and when I was trying to make it in this business.
Even though Irv is a celebrity, he and his family live not in a mansion with electrified fences around it, but rather a typical house in a typical neighborhood.
Now that she's working full-time herself, we really don't see much of each other during the week. We kind of get together on weekends, and it's kind of nice. I think we've got an unusually good relationship, my wife and I. She has a very even disposition, as opposed to myself. I tend to be a little more volatile. Not as volatile as I used to be. Medication has helped in that respect. She thinks I'm the funniest guy in the world. I broke her up from the moment we met until right now. She just laughs and laughs. And when you're laughing, it's very difficult to become angry.
He's got a great sense of humor, and he's fun to live with. I know his image is very often very businesslike and dignified. And he is that too. But I was originally attracted to him because of his sense of humor.
Irv's love of comedy still exists, and he still finds time to do a stage show once a year. To the public, his hours may seem a bit hectic, but his family doesn't seem to mind.
Sometimes when people ask me how I can stand his hours, I tell them that I think hours like that can be good for a marriage. We don't have time to fight.
Does your dad ever come to see you play?
No. When he arrives, like, everyone goes crazy all over him, so he doesn't usually show up at those kind of functions.
Well, how has his success affected you?
It's, you know, it's been an advantage and a disadvantage. Only an advantage in, like, material ways, disadvantage in social ways. It's like people always know me, but I don't know who they are because people are always pointing me out, you know, and saying, hey, that's Irv Weinstein's son, yeah.
No one has ever accused Irv Weinstein of just being another pretty face. So I'm kind of really an enigma in this business. I don't have skin like a baby's behind. I am not handsome in the classic way most people think of people being handsome. And yet, not bad. But I always tell people I appeal to more mature women. I'm a middle child, probably the typical kind of middle child. There were three of us. I have an older sister and a younger brother. But I was always gregarious. I was always the one who was thrown out of class. In high school, I remember a teacher telling me, you'll either wind up very famous or in jail. And I'm not sure which was right.
Don and I will be back in a moment with more of PM Magazine.
To me, News 4 Buffalo means giving people enough information to understand the news.
I watch John Beard.
I understand his news. I like his style.
The real answer is getting the truth out from behind the stories.
Well, he gets to the point.
And I think the most important thing is realizing that people are the news. You have to talk to them. You have to relate to them.
I love his mustache.
That's good news.
John Beard, weeknights on News 4 Buffalo.
And that's why we're 4.
Our first show.
Sure is, and that's just an example of what we'll bring you every night on PM Magazine.
For instance, tomorrow night on our show, we'll visit a go-go club where the strippers are men and the women do the watching.
And we'll meet a man who's been to a mind-boggling number of weddings. He's had the job of marrying people in Elkton, Maryland, and so far, more than 55,000 couples have used his services.
In our departments, Chef Tell talks about shallots. Dr. Jim Wasco takes a look at a mobile van that gives free health advice to teenagers. And Linda Harris continues her great escape to New England with a stop in Boston.
All of that coming up tomorrow night on PM Magazine.
Good night, everybody.
Folks, a home copying machine, the 3M 149 copying machine. Just place a 3M pink sheet over what you want to copy and expose it. Just the thing for recipes, receipts, newspaper clippings, and kids' schoolwork. Then put the pink sheet on top of the 3M white copy paper, feed it into the 149 copying machine to develop it. A totally dry process, no messy chemicals, and out comes your copy. Completely portable, weighs 6 pounds, just plug it in anywhere. Just $99.95, and please don't send it in pennies.
Think you know my face? I'm Cab Calloway, star of the Broadway hit Bubbling Brown Sugar. I'm also appearing with the Buffalo Philharmonic and a Pops program in February.
Another Western New York classic. Steve Zishan, BuffaloStories.com.